Everybody knows him. Unless you're like Bernard who doesn't watch TV. I'd like to call on Emmanuel Dei-Tumi tonight. First of all, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen. Let me begin by saying, Mr. Chairperson and distinguished guests at this high table, my brothers and sisters, it is a great honor and a privilege to be here this afternoon and to be performing a role that is so pertinent to my heart. I have never met Bernard Kelvin Clive before. I don't know him. I was speaking somewhere in the Bronx region when I received a call from a young man who says he's been trying to reach me. And I said, what can I do for you? I said, I've written a book. And I would have loved you to review the book for me, but I didn't get you, so the book is being published. So I said, but who are you? He said, well, you don't know me, you are my mentor, I've been listening to you, I've read the books and all of that. I said, okay, but if the book is published, they don't need me anymore. So, but I'd like you to have a look at it for me and then give me feedback. I have a way of running away from responsibility. So he called me and I said, okay, you go leave the book in the office. When I come back, I'll have a look at it. By the time I returned, I saw, and then he said to go, but we are watching the book and I wish that we could be there. I said, well, I don't know, I haven't checked my schedule yet, so let me go leave the book. I went back to the office and I saw this book lying on my desk with a letter inviting me to this program, and then the program attached to it. I took the book, and the first thing that attracted me is the cover. I like blue. Blue is peace. Blue signifies calmness. To a very large extent, it signifies the presence of God, because God is peace. Anytime you dress, please get a small color of blue in your dress. It carries the presence of God with you. Then I looked at the title of the book, and the title said, "Your dreams will not die." I held the book like this, because there are some words, Mr. Chairman, that turns me on. Words like vision, words like purpose, words like dreams, words like planning, words like wealth creation. It turns me on. So I picked the book, and then I turned the back, and I started reading about the author. I said, oh, at long last, Ghanaians are beginning to appreciate the fact that if you want to change generations, it's not about buildings, it's not about cars, it's not about how much money you have in your bank account. That if you want to change generations, listen to them, you plant seeds that will germinate, seeds that will affect the very thing the next generation. Listen to them. You don't give them money, you don't give them cash, you plant seeds, ideas, dreams into their lives. Africa is not poor. Anyone who tells you that Africans are poor has not been to Africa before. Africans, ladies and gentlemen, are not poor. You are not poor. Because poverty is not the absence of money. Poverty is the absence of ideas. Poverty is the absence of dreams. Poverty is the absence of no vision. But come to Africa and you realize there are men and women who are visionary. One of them is sitting next to me. Reverend Dr. don't know him from anyone. I sat down and he asked for my name, and I said, you know my name, I don't know your name. Then he mentioned his name and he said, he talked about this version, this dream. Did you know that until you came here, everything was in your mind? It's called dream. How then can we say that Africans are poor? We are not. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not poor. For your mind is a money-making machine. Your mind is a money-making machine. Destinies are not built with cars. Destinies are established with ideas. Look around you. From your shoe to your seat to your dress to your spectacles, everything was in your mind. From the mind sitting on your neck, refuse to accept the fact that you are an African who is poor, because you are not. I came here this afternoon because, ladies and gentlemen, a young man persisted. He was texting me, and he said, who is this guy? And he would not even say, he didn't even mention anything about this rule. And yesterday afternoon, normally Sundays, mind. Because I'm a very busy man. So yesterday I sat home the whole day just reading and for some reason I don't know what happened. I was expecting a call from China, so I put on the phone. That's young man calls again, he texted again. And so I called him and I said, my brother, what is it that this holy hour? Please put your hands together for Kelvin Clive, for his courage and persistence and tenacity. Everywhere a man or woman who knows where he or she is going is an unstoppable, indestructible person. You cannot destroy that person. The challenge we have in Ghana, ladies and gentlemen, today is that our generation is full of men and women who don't know where they are going. And if you don't know where you are going, two things will happen to you. You become a product of the environment and you become a football to politicians. That's right. If you don't know where you are going, I can assure you that you end up a product of the environment, and politicians will push you around just so you can vote for them. Now that you have voted for them, they drop you and come back to you 4 years later. Hear me, Mr. Kelvin. Anytime I'm talking to young ladies who want to marry, I tell them, you don't marry a man because you love him. Love can fade. And love can deteriorate. At the same time, love can grow. But you marry a man who knows where he's going. You don't marry love, you marry vision. You marry purpose. You marry destination. You ask a man, where will you be in the next 10 years? The man tells you, I want to be a doctor. Then, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to know that you want to marry a doctor, you are lying in your mind. And you sit in church and pray and speak in tongues and say, I want to marry a doctor. Forgetting that doctors go to school and you don't go to school. Perhaps if God grants your prayer and God gives you a doctor tomorrow, I can assure you there will be confusion in the house. Because if by accident the man goes to work and is sitting in the car, he forgets his stethoscope and goes to, honey, can you give me the stethoscope? I can assure you, you will bring him every time. You will bring your husband every time. Because you don't know what stethoscope is. When I know I want to marry a doctor, I also go to school. So you marry a vision. And can I tell you, gentlemen, life is progressive. Yes. You may meet a chimpanzee today who is a lawyer in the making. You may does not look like a doctor, but inside him is a doctor. That is a dream. That is a dream. Many years ago when I started my work, working with young people, somebody went to tell my wife to divorce me. And of course he was right.
Because in those days, Bishop, when I go to church and they are playing songs, I don't dance and lift up my leg. You know, I stand in one place and all I do is Because you see, it was not even the holes in the shoes, but the bullets in the socks. Most people were discounting me in those days. I knew of a certainty that one day the story will change. Did you know that every miracle in the Bible happened on a certain day? Yes. I want you to know your one day is coming. It may not look like it today, but stay on it. It's all a dream. So I came here, ladies and gentlemen, to support my brother.
Thank you.
14 years ago, people looked at me and told me that I had no business doing what I was doing. Listen to me. After finishing University of Ghana, I started life as a social boy. Because my father died when I was 1 year 6 months. That's all. I lived with my mother, who never went to school before. My mother never sat on a school chair. Now I remember when I passed my common entrance and I had gone to a lady, we used to call him a lady. I come from a village, which is not like the map of Ghana. And I said to my mother, Mom, I want to go to school, can you give me your trunk? My mother wept like a baby. He said, what do you want for property? Meaning you are taking our poverty to publicize it. I went to school as a jabba. You know, there's a difference between a jabba, dadaba, daba, and papa. Daba are those that the father will take the car, everything, take him to school, and then give him pocket money, go and so he go call Maxwell, and then when he's going again, he will take Maxwell. The next one is they continue like that. Until Sunday, they bring him every Sunday. That's daba. Trunk, choppers, everything. They put them there. Then the weekend they'll come and visit, and then they'll come again during normal visiting hours. A jumper are those that go with choppers minus trunk, with pillowcase full of galley, with 2 milk, 2 things of milk. As for the papa bus, we don't talk about them. But they have no trunk. They have only tomato. And everything is in that tomato. No galley, nothing. They have to live using their mind in the school. I went to school as a jabba. In our days, my mother would come for food and then they would shout. Those days, you know, this time the extended family system is breaking down. But in those days, they would shout, Abio. And all the boys within the community will come and sit around me. If you cut the first food and you swallow, that's it. So if you want to have the second blow, you cut it and then use your tongue to chuck it in your palm. And go there for the second one. By the time you swallow the second one, everything is finished. That's how we start. When I was in my A levels, I used to prepare Babu to sell. Oh my God. I was a senior prefect over the Penny Secondary School. Because everybody had registered to come to university and I hadn't, because I didn't have the money. Now I remember going to my mother asking for the money. My mother said, my friend, go and bring your things home. But I chose to do something different because I had it. I want to stay at Bunso. Shows of you know Bunso, big restaurant on the way there. There's a school there owned by the Cocoa Research Institute. It's called Great. Now I think they're going to the university now. I used to prep banku and sukari on my head as senior prefect. Sell this banku, made the money, went back, registered, sat for the entrance exam, came to the University of Ghana, became the SRC president. Agreed. I am saying this because somebody is here who is thinking my father has died, therefore my dream has to last. Then came to look. 1989, 1991, I was just as a president. A jumper. No old school mates, but I won the election. In University of Ghana. Finished in 1992. I married my wife once I was in first year. Because she was my senior in secondary school. We used to sing together. She was a treble singer, I was a tenor singer. And you know, treble and tenor, they stand together. So when she said, then I sing, what am I trying to let you understand this again? When I started Foundation for Future Leaders, I used to print envelopes and move from friends to friends, asking them to support me. And but that this thing will never, including a pastor, told me this thing will never work. But hear me, the Bible says who heals us gets a thing, and it comes to pass when the Lord God Almighty has not commanded it. Every dream in your heart, ladies and gentlemen, I can testify that that dream, even though the time, wait for it, for it shall speak in the end. So Calvin, this may not be the last of the books that is in your Bible. I've glanced through the book. I took time to read it yesterday, and I can tell you, every page I opened, I saw multitude of books on that page in your stomach. And those books will definitely come out in the name of Jesus. I wrote my first book in 1994. Today I've written 9 books. Last year I'm launching 2 books, making 11 books. So I know of a certainty that this is just the beginning. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I came here to affirm and to support my brother Kelvin Clive, and to let all of us agree to the fact that together we can stand. Yes. In Africa, we don't know how to support one another. No. People, Ghanaians who pay money and go and watch a Nigerian comedian. Oh, yes. And yet put a Ghanaian comedian there. Nobody will go. Let a Ghanaian do something like this. I'm publishing it and I'm launching it. Nobody will be there. They will go and bring a Nigerian, a white man. And Ghanaians will leave their food and go and pay money to support that person. Can I tell you something, ladies and gentlemen? If we don't appreciate our own, nobody will appreciate them for us. Right. Whether you like it or not, this is the only time you can identify the fact that you are a true Ghanaian. And for coming to this room to support our brother Bernard Kelvin Clive, I can assure you that that dream in your heart will become a reality. In the mighty name of Jesus. I said it shall become a reality. Oh, I feel like preaching. Never let anyone tell you, Kelvin, that it is not possible. Never accept that. Let them say it, but don't accept it. Let them say it, but don't accept it. They are entitled for their opinions and whatever they want to say. But here, ladies and gentlemen, whatever your dream says, believe it, because it's accountable. If God had the courage to give you that dream, He will give you all it takes to live it. I have a living testimony. Wow. Are you married? Hurry up now. Because you see, it's a very dangerous thing to marry when you are rich. Because otherwise you don't know the true person who really knows where you're going. One day my son took one of my old photographs. I went to the mother and asked the mother, Mama, is this thing part of your family members? Is this thing one of your family members? My wife shook his head. He said, that's your dad. So no, that's not my dad. In those days, I really looked like a chimpanzee. Somebody shout, please. I was speaking in Kumasi and I asked a young lady, well, and I'm sure there are many of you today, if I were to ask you, where will you be in the next 10 years? Your response will be very, very spiritual. That's what he can say. Hear me, ladies and gentlemen. Dreams are life.
Yes.
Dreams are life. Dreams are life. Bible says, when there is no vision, the people perish. Your dream provides a gutter in which you flow your life. Otherwise, your life will splinter on the surface like this. But I'm encouraged that today, the 28th of November 2011. Oh, 10. I am. Because there are some projects I want to accomplish 2020, so I want the years to. There is a man who was born many years ago that God dropped a seed into his heart. He said on the 28th of November 2010, that dream must become a reality. And today we are witnessing that dream. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, before you were formed in the womb of your... Can I stand before the table? I don't play football. I don't sing. The only way I live is to talk. So I talk for money. So when my wife is kissing me, I tell her, take your time. Because if you bite my tongue, I can't make money from it. There is a scripture in the Bible in Jeremiah that says that before you were formed in the womb of your mother, I knew you. And I'm sure we've read that scripture many times. One day I asked God, I said, Lord, what do you mean by this scripture? And he said, have you ever bought a carpet before? You know carpet like this? How many of you have bought carpet before? Either woolen or linoleum. You bought some before? Now when you go to the shop, how does it look like? Is it spread or rolled together? It's rolled together. Then when you tell them, I want to buy 10 yards, what do? They will roll it. And then what? They measure and then what? They cut it for. Now if indeed your measurement was accurate, whatever they will measure for you, you take it back to your place and you spread it, it will cover the exact space that you bought it for. Is that right?
Yes.
But when they finish cutting it, they roll it back. Then they put it in your car. Or if you went to truck, they roll it back, then you take it to your house. If it's a taxi, the same thing. But when you go back to your house, you begin to unroll it. Then it covers the space for which you bought it. Bible says that the length and breadth of your life was measured by God. Then when he finished measuring your length and breadth, the length and breadth of your life, he rolled you back and decked you in your mother's womb. That the day you were born, the length and breadth of your life. So from this day that I'm giving you the passport to come onto the planet Earth, begin to unroll yourself and cover the space for which you have created you. Ladies and gentlemen, every one of us in this room has a dream.
Yes.
But not all of us. Some of us are carrying our dreams and giving it to Aki and Popo. Some of you have carried your dreams and given it to Ajako. And Ajako is making money anytime you smile. He's making money. He's making money. Meanwhile, your dream is rolled back and dead in the carpet shop. I pray that today that we are launching this book, you would cling, you would connect with the dreamer, our brother Bernard Kelvin Clive, and say to yourself, indeed, my dream will never die. Oh, it may not look pleasant today, it may not look like you want it today. No dream was built like this. I was just told this school is about 20 years. But if you went back in history and checked the day it was started, how many students? 2 students. 2 students. And I'm told next year a university is starting on this campus. That is a dream. That is a dream. Every dreamer here shall dream. Let every dreamer here shall dream.
and celebrate some of your dreams. You can come back and rejoice with some of you for the dreams that you have. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, pleasure is mine to identify with my brother Bernard Kelvin Clive to declare this book, Your Dreams Will Never Die, not only duly, not only officially, but spiritually launched. May the heavens witness, and may all eyes that are gathered here witness. May all those that are outside of this building identify that indeed no dream given to us by God will ever die. May God cause this book to go to places. May Jehovah God, who gave the idea to our brother, that same God grant him the wisdom to release as many of those books that are in his spirit to come to pass. And upon the